Imagine an animal that looks like a deer, stands like a human, hops like a frog, and carries its baby in a built-in pocket. If you described this creature to someone who had never seen it, they would think you were describing an alien. Welcome back to the Wildlife Lab. Today, we are heading to the isolated continent of Australia to decode one of the most recognizable yet misunderstood animals on Earth, the kangaroo. They are the icons of the Outback, but beyond their cute appearance lies a biological machine designed for one of the harshest environments on the planet. Did you know that a kangaroo is the only large animal that moves by hopping? Did you know that they can pause their own pregnancy, or that they use their tail as a fifth leg, making them technically pentapedal? From the scorching red deserts to the coastal forests, these marsupials have mastered survival. But how do they box without falling over? And what really happens inside that famous pouch? Buckle up, we are about to jump into the biology of the macropod. This is everything you need to know about kangaroos. First, let's get the classification right. Kangaroos are marsupials. Unlike placental mammals, like humans or dogs, where the baby grows fully inside the womb, marsupials give birth to a tiny, undeveloped fetus that finishes growing inside a pouch. They belong to a family called Macropodidae, which literally means big foot, and trust me, the name fits. While there are over 60 species of macropods, including wallabies and tree kangaroos, when we say kangaroo, we are usually talking about the big three. The red kangaroo, the undisputed heavyweight champion. They are the largest marsupials on Earth. Found in the arid center of Australia, males can stand over 6 feet tall and weigh 200 pounds. They are built for heat and open plains. The eastern gray kangaroo, found along the fertile East Coast, these are the ones you'll likely see on golf courses or near cities. They are slightly smaller than reds, but are incredible jumpers. 3. The western gray kangaroo. Found in western and southern Australia, they are darker, sturdier, and have a more chocolate-brown color. But regardless of the species, they all share one fatal flaw in their movement. They cannot walk backwards. Their heavy tail and leg structure simply won't allow it. This is actually why the kangaroo appears on the Australian coat of arms. It symbolizes a nation that is always moving forward. Now, let's talk about their most famous feature, the hop. Why hop? Running seems to work fine for horses and cheetahs. Why did evolution choose bouncing for kangaroos? The answer is energy efficiency. A kangaroo's legs act like giant springs. Their massive Achilles tendons store elastic energy when they land and release it to launch them into the next jump. It's like bouncing on a pogo stick.
Here is the science. At low speeds, hopping is actually tiring, but at high speeds, it becomes incredibly efficient. A red kangaroo can cruise at 25 miles per hour, 40 kilometers per hour, for long distances, outlasting almost any predator. In a sprint, they can reach speeds of over 40 miles per hour.
But what happens when they want to move slowly? This is where things get weird. When grazing, they can't hop. Instead, they use pentapedal locomotion. They plant their front paws on the ground. Then, and this is key, they press their heavy tail down to support their weight and swing their back legs forward. In this moment, the tail acts as a fifth leg. Studies show that their tail generates as much propulsive force as their front and back legs combined. If you think their hopping is strange, wait until you hear about their reproduction. This is where kangaroos are truly scientific marvels. Let's start with the anatomy. Female kangaroos have a highly specialized reproductive system. They have 3 vaginas and 2 uteruses. The side vaginas are for fertilization, while the middle one acts as the birth canal. But the real miracle is the baby, or joey. A kangaroo is born after just 30 to 36 days of gestation. At this point, the joey is the size of a jelly bean, blind, hairless, and pink.
It weighs less than a gram. Using only its tiny front arms, this jellybean-sized fetus must climb up its mother's fur, against gravity, into the pouch. This journey takes about 3 minutes. If it falls, it dies. Once inside, it latches onto a teat, which swells in its mouth to lock it in place. And now for the most mind-blowing fact: embryonic diapause. A female kangaroo is essentially a baby factory. She can have 3 babies at 3 different stages of development all at once. An older joey that has left the pouch but returns for milk. A tiny joey living inside the pouch attached to a teat. And a fertilized embryo in her uterus, waiting to be born. If there is a drought and food is scarce, or if the pouch is currently occupied, the mother can biologically pause the pregnancy. The embryo stops growing and enters suspended animation. Once the older joey leaves the pouch or rain returns, she unpauses the pregnancy, and the cycle continues. She can even produce 2 different types of milk simultaneously: high carbohydrate milk for the tiny pouch joey and high fat milk for the active toddler. It is biological engineering at its finest. We've all seen cartoons of boxing kangaroos, but in the wild, this isn't a sport. It's a brutal fight for dominance and mating rights. Male kangaroos, or boomers, have incredibly muscular upper bodies. When they fight, they lock arms and try to push their opponent off balance. But the arms are just a distraction. The real weapon is the feet. A kangaroo will balance entirely on its tail, leaning back to deliver a double-legged kick to its opponent's gut. Their middle toe has a sharp, dagger-like claw that can disembowel a predator or a rival male in a single strike. And what about predators? Their main natural enemy is the dingo. If a kangaroo is chased by a dog or dingo, it has a terrifying strategy. It will run to a body of water, a dam or a river. It stands chest-deep in the water and waits. When the predator swims out to get it, the kangaroo uses its arms to grab the predator's head and hold it underwater until it drowns. So if you ever see a kangaroo standing in water staring at you, do not go in. Today, there are actually more kangaroos in Australia than there are people. The population is estimated to be around 40 to 50 million. This abundance creates a complex relationship with humans. To tourists, they are icons, but to many Australian farmers, they are pests that compete with sheep and cattle for grass, leading to government-sanctioned culling programs. But regardless of how you see them, you have to respect them. They have survived for millions of years on a continent that tries to kill everything that lives there. They are the masters of energy efficiency, the time travelers of reproduction, and the kickboxers of the animal kingdom. From the tiny jelly bean climbing to the pouch to the giant boomer standing tall in the red dust, the kangaroo is proof that nature's designs are stranger than fiction. If you enjoyed this hop into the world of marsupials, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the Wildlife Lab. What animal should we decode next? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and stay wild.